Something a bit different this time. I've been asked if I could do someone a favour. Rhode Knives. Check him out. I'll put a link to his Facebook or whatever. He's sent me a few little knives. He's struggling to get heat treat done at the moment, and he's asked if I could heat treat his blades but put Hamon on them. Now, I've never done a Hamon before, but what can go wrong? So we'll go through the process of what I'm doing, and we'll heat treat it, see what it comes out like. Come and join me. Right, as I said, never done this before, but I've done a little bit of research, and I've got a load of this stuff, which is Vitcast heatproof mortar. So I thought, well, if anything's going to do the job, it's going to be that, isn't it? So let's get a blade prepped, and I'll show you exactly what I'm doing. Right, this is one of his knives. Now this is 1070. Lovely knife. He's got some, definitely got some skills. It's a lovely shape, isn't it? Really nice. Anyway, so this is 1070, and I've got 26C3 as well, which I've never heat treated before, but the heat treat looks fairly simple to do. So the first thing I'm going to do is just get this really clean, because obviously you don't want any fingerprints or marks on it, and then we'll get some more on it. Right, that's one I've already done. Again, I've got no idea on thickness, but it's just basically differential heat treating, quench, isn't it really? So that's going to make a difference to that, and I'll try and do a high edge quench on this anyway. So that's what I've done on that, and that's the kind of pattern I'm going for. Like I say, he wants it fairly high because he does like a flat grind on that. So that's the first one. So let's put a bit on, shall we? A bit of a plate. Right, with this, all I'm doing is putting in a little cup. I'm making sure there's no lumps whatsoever on it, and a decent consistency. Now, I did some reviews, I did some checking on this before I started, and apparently the grind is quite important. So you don't want it too finished, if that makes sense. I think this is 180 he's sanded this to. But you don't want to go any kind of higher than that, because you'll have a job getting the mortar to stick to it by all accounts. And then what I'm doing is, well, I suppose it's artistic license, isn't it? Do what you want to do. And I can tidy up all this in a minute anyway. So I'm trying to put a decent coat on. So, but yeah, he's a nice chap. You know, people are struggling at the moment, aren't they, with services being reduced or finished or whatever. So, you know, if you can help people out, guys, help people out, you know. We're in this together, aren't we, really? Yeah, and then we'll bring that out there. And I bet you're all looking at this now going, no, you want to do that and you want to do this. That's all, let's see. Oh, that's a bit of a lower one, but I like that. We'll leave that there. What's that guy? Bob somebody. You know the one? Does the paintings? Yeah, just, you know. And he goes with his paintbrush. Yeah. Anyway, I'll fast forward this bit so you're not bored. Right, so that's one side done. See, it's quite cool, doesn't it? I think you've got to be really careful when you get to the edges, because it's really easy to get it too thin. It's like there, look, I think that bit there, I think it probably needs a bit more there, because if it's too thin, I just imagine that you're going to get kind of a half-assed Hamon, if that makes sense. But again, you don't want to go too thick. But we'll do the other side, I'll do the rest of the knives and then we'll
Right.
have it.
Hi everybody, this is the next day. So I've let these dry, but if you see, we're getting a little bit of cracking in the mortar, which I did expect as it shrinks. So I've made up just like a slurry mix of this stuff, and I'm just gonna fill the gaps in, let it dry, and we'll get it in the oven before it does any more shrinking, and just see how we get on. Guys, as you can see, I've got the first two blades here. Now this is 1070 still. So this I'm going to be heating up to 800 degrees, and you can probably just see my PID there. It's in my little homemade oven, so that's all warming up now. So that will be warming up now nicely. So that's going to be 800 degrees. You don't have to hold it for any length of time or anything for 1070. And then I'll be quenching it. Now I use that's the oil I'm using, which is a proper quenching oil. I do preheat the oil. I'll preheat the oil about 40 or 50 degrees centigrade, just to because it works quicker. It's to do with viscosity and stuff. And also, what I do, if you may be interested, is I have two temperature probes within the oven, and that's so that I can get a consistency. So this is one which I just rig up, and they were showing 650. And that one's now showing 610. But what you'll find is when it gets to temperature, they tend to even out, and I'm probably getting a variance of just a few degrees, 2 or 3 degrees between the two. So, you know, it's pretty good. So what I'll do is I'll let this warm up. I'll preheat the oil just before I put the blades in. I'll then leave the blades in there for about 10 minutes to warm up to 800 degrees. Once they're up to temperature, we'll just quench them then and see how this works. I've had to go back over it again today. I think I showed you this, didn't I? I've had to go back over it again just to take out, there was a couple of cracks in it, but it's bonded pretty well to the steel, and I'm fairly hopeful this is going to work. If it was my stuff, I wouldn't give a monkeys, but of course this is for Rhode Knives, so I'm probably more nervous than I should be. But there we are. Right, I'll see you. Right, I don't know if you can see the bottom temperature, because I think it fluctuates because of this camera, but that's showing 790 degrees. This one's showing at 800 degrees. So you can see we've got a fluctuation of about 10 degrees between the two sensors, but that will stabilise in a minute and equal itself out. So I'm going to put the blades in now and let them start soaking up a bit of heat. And there you go. And then, where's my little tongs? Where have I put those? Oh, there they are. And then I just push them in. And I always try and get them roughly central, so that they're underneath the sensors. So there we go. So now, as you can see, the temperature's dropped now. That's 760, 770, but that'll pick up very quickly again now. And as soon as it's up, we'll quench them and see how we get on. That's the first temper, guys, of the not of the other ones, not the 1070s. That's the first temper, but you can see the Hamon is looking pretty promising. Right, everybody, that's the blade in there, ready to do the test. So all I've done, I've pushed it up to preload, and basically you want your little markers to be
the little mark wants to be dead on, and then this one wants to be set to the 0 mark, which it is. Then you release the lever, like so. Wait for it to settle and bring it back, and that's your Rockwell. And I was aiming for 60, and we have, because it's in the black layers, look, wow, 60, just over 60.01. So there you go, perfect heat treat.
Don't you just love my editing skills? And now, as if by magic, we're going to go across to Rhode Knives and let them finish the job.